Convicted child abuser and accused serial rapist Sean Williams will likely spend the rest of his life in prison.
He was sentenced to 95 years for federal child pornography crimes. News Channel 11's Ansley Daniel has been in Greenville where that sentencing happened earlier today. Ansley, can you describe the scene inside the courtroom earlier today?
Yeah, Sean Williams had a different attitude today than what we saw during his child porn trial back in November of last year. He was defiant, even back-talking federal judge Ronnie Greer, who showed no mercy to him today, putting him in prison for the rest of his life. It was an emotional scene inside the courtroom as Sean Williams' victims and their families heard federal judge Ronnie Greer sentence him to 95 years in prison.
I'm reminded every single day of what happened to me. The mental trauma, it's finally gotten better, but at first it was horrific, and some of those thoughts and things that were done or that happened to me, I'll constantly always think about those, or why didn't they do this, or why not that.
Michaela Evans fell from Williams's 5th floor apartment in Johnson City. Even though she isn't involved in the child pornography or escape charges, she's been at most of the court hearings. Even though he'll be in prison, the mental anguish continues. Federal prosecutor Megan Gomez explained that in her argument for the judge to impose the maximum sentence, saying, quote, "Every act that he committed was egregious." Williams said that he maintained his innocence of all his charges, except those involving drugs. Despite the hundreds of images and videos that were meticulously organized on his computer shown to the jury, Williams saying, quote, "Everyone should know there's a lot of angles I'm being attacked on." The judge wasn't buying it, calling Williams a pedophile, sociopath, and psychopath, even comparing him to a serial killer, which drew a smile and smirk from Williams. The judge saying, quote, "A civilized society cannot survive if it allows predators like Mr. Williams to exploit and abuse the most vulnerable of its members." Today's sentencing included his escape charge when he sent U.S. Marshals on a nationwide manhunt back in October of 2023 that started right here in Greenville ahead of an appearance in court.
Sean Williams is an evil, depraved monster. I won't even call him a human being. He's not a human being. No matter what sentence the court imposed, it will never be enough. I know good and well that when he finishes this sentence, there will be a special place in hell for this guy.
Now, Williams is being sent to a federal prison in Ohio, and Jolly told us today that he's going to be warning the folks there about his devious ways, telling us that U.S. Marshals actually found razor blades in his shoes this morning. Now, Jeff Keeling has been following this saga since the very beginning, and we heard from Sean Williams' attorney today, who said that he's already planning an appeal on Williams' behalf.
Ansley, that's right. And Sean Williams said it himself to the judge today that he does want to appeal that conviction. Attorney Mark Brown said he doesn't know if he'll continue representing Williams in his efforts at the 6th Circuit Court of Appeals, but Williams isn't giving up yet. We spoke to a former federal defender and later judge, Tom Wright, this afternoon. He said with video evidence, almost everyone in Sean Williams' situation would have taken the 55-year plea deal that he was offered and spared people the expense and trauma of a trial. But Williams' approach seems to say something about his character, Wright said.
The character is non-existent, and that probably needs a psych evaluation. I mean, if you sat through that trial and still want to say, I maintain my innocence, there's something diluted going on in your mind.
Wright said today marked a point in this broad case, which also includes federal civil actions related to Williams, that gives prosecution teams, investigators, and judges a sense of satisfaction.
There's somewhat of a small sigh of relief that we've taken this step of establishing the guilt that pretty much everybody assumed or knew was going to happen.
You know, a lot of water under the bridge at this point, Ansley, in this Sean Williams saga, but we're still likely to see more cases, likely more trials, or at least plea agreements, and it's just not over yet.
And I know, again, that he was transported and is being transported to that federal prison in Ohio. It's anticipated he will be back in the district possibly at some point for his other trials.
That's right. I mean, there again there's a lot of evidence that the prosecutors have mentioned that alleges rapes committed against dozens of women at his downtown Johnson City apartment. We'll see if he takes plea deals on those, but those are likely to be indicted at some point later this year once the federal stuff has worked its way through the system.
All right. Well, we have been here in Greenville all day. Again, Jeff Keeling has been covering this since the very beginning, but we're going to go ahead and send things back to you all in the studio.